Hey fans, welcome to GoRacers.com. It's Parker Griffith. I'm here with Murray State football head coach Dean Hood. Coach, how are you today?
Doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent, Coach. We just wanted to take some time today and talk with you a little bit about our team. We are all anticipating taking the field this fall, and for your first season, Coach. You're somebody that coached in the OVC for a long time and has been in around the league. What were some of when you decided to take this job? What were some of the memories maybe you had of Murray State, but before you got here?
Well, my most vivid memory of Murray was I was on Coach Kidd's staff at Eastern Kentucky. It was back in the 90s. I don't know, 95, 96, 94, somewhere around that range. And we had at Eastern a pretty long conference win streak. I don't know what it was. I think it was 20 games, 21 games, something like that. And we went down to Murray and got beat. I remember the fans coming out of the stands and tearing down the goalpost. So that was a very, very, vivid memory in my mind of the stadium there at Murray.
Speaking of Coach Kidd, it's fair to say he was a mentor of yours, correct?
Oh, no question. I had some great guys that I was blessed to be under and learn something from every single one of them. Rich Rodriguez, I learned a lot from Rich when I was at Glenville. Jim Grove was probably the biggest influence as far as a football coach in my life. Was with them at Ohio University and Wake Forest, and then assistant for Coach Kidd at Eastern was an incredible guy to be under. And then being under Coach Stoops the last 3 years at Kentucky. So, I think Ferg said once that everybody's born an original and everybody dies a copy. I've copied things from each one of those men as far as a football coach.
And on the other side of that, you now have a lot of former players, former coaches under you that are assistants, head coaches, coordinators. Talk about a little bit what that means to see them excel in their careers.
Yeah, well, some of them I hired, back here. So
yeah,
it's very easy to hire somebody that you've worked with. It's a lot harder to take a recommendation from somebody and interview somebody when you know somebody, you've worked side to side, in a game like football that's so personal. It's pretty easy then to make a hire of somebody that you've worked with. But, some of the guys that are out there, that's probably, one of the reasons that I got back into being a head coach. Have an opportunity. It's truly a blessing to have an opportunity not only to coach, young men as far as players, but also to have a chance at my age and as long as I've done it, an opportunity, hope to influence young coaches who are going to go on and someday be a head coach and run their programs and hopefully steal something from you like I've stolen from the men that you just talked about at the beginning. You're not only prideful of that, but you're also happy to see that because, the way that we do things, trying to develop the whole person, you're excited that there's good people in the profession that are doing that. They're not just caring about these kids from a standpoint of being good academically and being good football players.
You mentioned some books. What are some good books that have helped you in your career and maybe would be good reads for our fans during this quarantine time?
I don't know if it'd be good read for the fans. I like a lot of the leadership books. We're actually using 4 books, or we're going to in our leadership training with our players right after spring break. But didn't have an opportunity to do that. We're doing it. The coaches are doing it right now through Zoom. But our freshmen, we're going to go through Failing Forward. John Maxwell, and
Yep.
Our sophomores, Good to Great, Jim Collins. Our juniors, Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews, and our seniors, Mentor Leadership by Tony Dungy. So those are some of the ones that our kids are getting a piece of, which was going to be a week-long, training, but it's become kind of a Zoom meeting, just hitting the most important points on each one of those.
Now, I know we kind of put a pause on, training and as a whole, but in the time you had with the team, How far do you think they've come, and what is some progress you've seen?
Well, part of the most encouraging thing I think has been, their work ethic and their buy-in. I just think immediately the kids did a great job of jumping in and buying into how we were trying to do things. And I think Coach Clay did an unbelievable job in the weight room. Of course, they were used to Coach Clay, so I think that was a help. They knew his system, how he did things, and they literally went 100 miles an hour and had a great work ethic in the time that we had with them after recruiting and before spring break.
So when all this picks back up, Coach, we'll be close to the season, and our fans are super excited to see your product on the field. What are some hallmarks of a Dean Hood led team that our fans can expect to see on the field? Play wise and things like that.
Well, I mean, just in general, what I just believe gives you the best chance to win is run the ball and play good run defense and be good on special teams. There's a lot of different ways to run the ball, and eventually we'll get to more of what I hope for it to look like. But I think the smart thing is to use the pieces that you have. So we're still figuring that out. We got a chance to see in the weight room and run around cones. We didn't get spring ball, so it'll be interesting to kind of see how it all comes together, and we'll have to be fast and furious, and our kids will have to be bought in. But first and foremost, we're gonna work as hard as we can for success now, and that means using the pieces to the puzzle that we have, figure out what our guys do well, and try to do that.
Coach, you mentioned special teams. Special teams is something that's obviously extremely important to you. You've been a special teams coordinator, most recently at Kentucky. You've got us a good one here at Murray State and Coach Cunningham. What's it like in special teams? Because you're working with offensive guys and defensive guys. What is that like trying to get people from two different units to come together to form this third unit that's so crucial to the game?
Well, it is, it's the reason they call it special. It is special. It requires your offense and your defensive guys and your specialists to all come together. So it's the ultimate team part of the game. The other piece of it is just how important that it is. People talk. I think most people talk about it's a third of the game, and it's just lip service. But when you look at, if you took every year, and I've done this several times, different places that I've been, but if you take every third or fourth down on offense and every third or fourth down on defense, and you add those together, that number usually equals the amount of special teams plays that there are for the year. So you think about how excited fans get, and, when it's third down offensively or defensively, because they understand the game. They understand how important, man, this is really important offensively, right, to keep the drive alive, or defensively to stop the drive and get off the field. People go crazy. I don't see them going crazy on first and second down. It's on third down, or even more hyped up on fourth down. Well, that's the same number of opportunities you have as a special teams player. So that's how valuable a special teams play is. Every single special teams play in the game should be valued just like you value third and fourth down, because that's what it is.
Coach, we're running close to time here, but I did want to get with you and let you talk a little bit about our schedule coming up this year. We'll open at Georgia State. We also play Louisville this year, and then we have Tarleton State, who's jumping up from Division II, coming in. Can you talk a little bit about our non-conference schedule?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing, it's going to be a bland answer for you, not very exciting, but I think the biggest thing for us is to be concerned about us. I mean, I think that's who we're versus. It's Murray versus Murray. From the first game to the last, we have to be the best version of ourselves, every single week, and then we have to have the mindset that we're going to improve, as coaches, as players, as a team, every single week as we learn, about each other and move forward getting the most out of what we have, out of everybody in the program.
Coach, is there anything else you want to tell our fans about the upcoming season, or just anything you'd like to say to them in general?
No, just excited. I mean, you're excited about every single football season, but I think, there's not going to be a human being out there that's ever watched football that's not going to be more excited than this year here going through, the situation with the coronavirus. So I think a lot of things, with what's going on, I think people are going to be a lot more appreciative of everything in their life. And I think, being at a football stadium and watching a group of kids play football is going to be one of them. So really pumped up for it.
Well, me too, Coach. I'm excited. This is a great opportunity for our program and our athletic department, and I'm just can't wait to get back out there and hear those pads popping and get going, Coach. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we really appreciate you, and hope that you and your family are doing well. And that is going to do it for us, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Hope your family is also doing well. My name is Parker Griffith for Coach Dean Hood. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great day, and go Racers.